live. Maybe. I'm waiting for the streams to catch up. All right, looks good. And still waiting on YouTube. Give it just a second. Hello, everyone. Today, we're going to be working... I know the title says... Oh,
Maybe.
Excuse me. Nobody wants that. And also I can pause everything so that it's not taking up bandwidth. So, I know the title says containers. We are actually working with orchestration, and I know this is a little bit base. It's small the other way. So let's make it a little bit bigger. What am I doing? So, I'm ready to move my assistant from Rasa open source to Rasa X. Rasa X, if you haven't used it before, it's a way of sort of creating that circular flow where users have conversations, you use those conversations to improve your assistant, and then they have conversations and you use them to improve the assistant. So continuous integration and deployment, except you are incorporating new information from new interactions and improving the experience all the time. So I want to deploy Rasa X in a Linux VM. So I'm working on, this computer is Windows 10. And I'm working in a Linux VM. And I will, once it's working good, host it somewhere, and then people can use my assistant, and it's deployed, 10 out of 10. The problem is Kubernetes. No, that's not fair. The problem is me and my poor understanding of Kubernetes, and I've gotten myself into a very weird state. So, I'm following, a little backstory. I was following the one-line deployment guide, and last Tuesday before my stream, this one right here, last Tuesday before my stream, I got it up and running, and I was like, okay, great. On the stream, we'll just work on updating our assistant and connecting it. Hi, Dandocar. And what actually happened was I could not get my... I couldn't interact with my cluster, which was up and running. Asobah says, still not solved? No. No, it's not. And so in the last Thursday, it's Friday. Yeah, so for the last 2 days, I've been working on learning more about Kubernetes and getting stuff up and working. And I have done many things and still a little bit stuck. So we're just gonna work through some stuff today and see if we can get our cluster up and running and connected to Rasa X. So, yeah. So last afternoon, God, I've spent so much time on this, but it's good. This is a learning phase. This is a time of growth. It's fine. I get to practice my emotional self-regulation, which is an important part of being an adult, and it's great. And I have water. It's got electrolytes in it. Tastes like Pedialyte. Yum. Okay. So, Greg, hello. I hope you can help me. So what I did last night was I uninstalled and reinstalled everything. And I launched Rasa X, and it didn't finish launching. So on Tuesday night, when I installed from scratch, it worked. And yesterday, I launched Rasa X in a new VM. And as you can see, these pods, well, let's just quickly double check. Maybe it's working now. Nah. These pods are 18 hours old and still pending, and I don't know what that means. So Timmel says, I'm new to your channel. Welcome to the channel. What is the problem we are trying to solve? So the consistent error that I was getting all through Wednesday and Thursday was when I tried to interact with my cluster using Helm, I got, one sec, I wrote it down. I'm keeping a list of all of my errors. the error I was getting consistently was cluster is unreachable. So it was up and running, but I couldn't reach it with Helm, and the IP address for the cluster just gave me like basically it loaded forever, and then I got a timeout error. And so I restarted, and I thought I'd done a good job, and I don't think that I did because this is what's happened. So I think what we're going to start with is uninstalling everything, hopefully better than I uninstalled it the first time. I'll pop that up there. Okay, so Greg says pending can mean you don't have resources available to start the pod. How would I check that? Nope. I'd also say this is a lot of, I also spent a lot of time learning about different tools. So Helm, which we are using to specify what the cluster looks like, and we used a Helm chart to launch the cluster. And then Kube Control, which is built into Kubernetes, I think. I thought that was a third separate tool. I think it is not. I think it is part of Kubernetes because the documentation for it is in the Kubernetes documentation. So that's some learning. Greg says, I've seen this for the first time on Amazon EKS-based deployment. Is Docker running? That's a good cue. Maybe. Docker is installed. So it should be in a VM that's running locally. I'm not doing this as a cloud instance right now. Because I was thinking I'd get it working locally and then I'd just, pop it into my cloud provider. It would be very easy. And because I'm on Windows, I'm using Docker as a desktop app. So that's fun. Well, that's launching in the background. So the thing that I wanted to know was what is happening in Helm. Is it not list? All right. It's deployed. I deployed it yesterday afternoon, which seems right. Rasa X. Okay. Okay. I think I just want to start over. I think that's going to be the easiest thing. So first I'm going to Google how to take down a Kubernetes cluster. And if I look at my VM info, so Multipass is the running. Okay. Multipass is the way that I am creating a Linux VM, specifically Ubuntu 18.04, which is probably like Lazy Lorax or something. I don't remember the version names. So let's get the info. I'm pretty sure I gave it, oh, okay. So it's using almost well over half of its disk space, and a fair chunk of its memory. Was I supposed to have given it 5 gigs or 50 gigs? Maybe it's just not big enough. That could be it. Sudo says 15 gigs. Okay. Yeah, maybe it's just not big enough. That would definitely make sense, and also does sound like the sort of typo that I would make. Stopping it on Google Cloud. So I could just kill the VM, but I don't know if that would also kill the cluster, because the cluster, okay, so the cluster is running in the VM. Surely, what? It's probably better just to like try to take it all down in order, right? Which you would think that there'd be a very easy to find guide on how to stop the cluster. a guide on fixing your cluster if a node has failed. I don't think that's what happened. Worker has failed. I don't think that's what happened because, I also realized recently that I've been conflating workers and pods. And workers are instances that are running pods. Yeah, I think that makes sense. Nerlan says, Rachel's still confused series. Yeah. I did feel better because I talked to a lot of people about my problem and nobody else could fix it either. So that did make me feel better. I've made something weird and I need to figure out how to start again from scratch. Because the frustrating thing is it did work the first time. So I know it can work on this computer. Okay, let's leave this VM and my pending pods, and let's just start a completely new VM and see if we can start again, but save this one in case we need to come back to it and figure out what the state is. Oh, right. Sorry. I have another computer in front of me, and I've been using it as part of my multi-monitor system, and it's not connected right now. It's separate. Anyway, I'm doing great. All right, so I think it's Multipass. Actually, no. What I am going to do is I'm going to pull up the documentation, and I'm going to follow the documentation because following the documentation specifically is what got me to a good state last time. Okay, yeah, 50 gigs of disk, not 5. So I'm wondering if that is, in fact, the problem. Does it matter what the name is? Also, I'm wondering if this should be K8s. Because K8s is one way of writing Kubernetes. So I did create a VM called K3S. Greg is very helpful. So kube control, name Rasa, because that's the namespace of the cluster. That makes sense. Delete L. I can't tell if that's an L or a pipe because YouTube hates dyslexic people. App equals app. You know what would probably help? It would be if I ran this in the VM and not just like a random terminal somewhere in my system. At least one resource must be specified to use a selector. That is an interesting error. Nope, I just want to go up 1. Why can't I go up 1? Deeply weird. Okay. I think that might be a E-L-E-T. That might be a... That's because there's an E in it. Greg says K3S is the lighter weight Kubernetes distro we are using. Supports kube control in Kubernetes, but less resource requirements from the system. Aw, thank you. That is very helpful. You must provide one or more resources by argument or file name. Maybe the L flag was wrong? Nope. Nope, that's not it. Interesting. Beep, boop, 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 boop. All right, you know what? Let's leave this for now. Sume says no idea. Are you streaming on multiple platforms? Yeah, so I'm streaming to the Rasa, R-A-S-A YouTube channel and also my Twitch. And I'm keeping up with both of y'all. There's more than 2 people. I don't know why I said both. All right. The thing that I was interested in was, do I still have something called K3S? Yes. Can I remember how to delete a VM through Multipass? I think so. I think it needs to be... I'm going to start by getting help. delete instances to be purged with the purge command or recover with your cover command. Name. Do I need to type name? No, you just need the name. It doesn't need a flag. Yeah, there we go. Okay, and now it... Okay, and now it should say that it's deleted, and now I can just purge everything, and it will move all the deleted VMs. And now if I list, I should just have on a cephalopod, which is too small. I guess it's I'm coming up with a small cephalopod. Give me just a second. What are those really colorful cuttlefish? Resplendent cuttlefishes? The colorful ones. Hi, Abosh. Sorry. Asoba. That was very easy to say. Okay. Let's start a new one. Let's just walk right through the, just gonna follow the directions exactly and not try to do a bunch of weird stuff. All right. So we're creating a new VM called K3S that has 4 gigs of memory and 50 gigs of disk space, which does explain the problem with the pods just pending. So it's going to take a little bit to think to itself. Oh, wow, I hope this works. Yeah, so I think we know what the pending error is. I still don't know what the can't connect or connection unavailable. What was the specific error we got? It was very ungoogleable, like weirdly ungoogleable. Cluster is unreachable. Yeah, so somehow we were able to launch the cluster with Helm. It was running correctly, but it was in some sort of like weird state where it just had some sort of infinite loop, I guess. I don't know what the problem was, and I tried a bunch of things, and I asked a bunch of people, and nobody knew. Yeah, so fun errors all around. All right, we are launched. Step 1, actually type in the terminal. Multipass shell K3S, which will move us into the environment of our VM. And then, oh, I could have copied and pasted from there. All right, and now we have this one-line deploy script using Helm. So it goes and it basically does everything for us, and it'll take a little bit. Assuming things go well, it's going to take a little bit. But it shouldn't take more than like 10 minutes is my sort of mental math. So it's 9:18 now. So if it takes more, if we're not done by 9:30, things have gone poorly. All right, plain text passwords. Just scroll so we're not looking at them, but then we won't know what happens. Yeah. There is actually something we need to do. We need to add something to our bash, and it is this. So, we're gonna open here, and then if I have 2 terminals in the same VM while I'm launching something, will that cause problems? I don't know. I don't know if that's going to cause problems or not. So I'm just not, I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait until Rasa X is done launching and hope that we don't have any problems. All right, let's see. Still deploying. Let's double check. All right, 50 gigs. Yeah, that's correct. As opposed to this little guy that had, let's see when I launched it, 4 gigs, 5 gigs rather, which is not enough space. All right. You still going? You still going? All right. So, yeah. I think what we can do while this is going is we can tidy up over here. So, do you have to drain pending pods? That's a question I don't know the answer to. Let's see if the internet is. So, I believe draining. I've been doing a lot of learning. And I don't know if it's like a bunch of Kubernetes specific vocabulary or just like stuff that I haven't come across that like everybody in DevOps knows, because I'm not. My background is more in machine learning and NLP, and this is a good stretch for me. What am I looking for? Do you have to drain pending pods before you delete them? My guess is no. Let's see. Wait, no. You drain nodes and you evict pods? No, evicting happens automatically? There's a lot of vocabulary here that I'm still learning. Okay. So it got evicted by Kubernetes. Evicted state. Evicted pods don't get removed. Blah, 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 blah. Get on. Work on. Delete all evicted pods manually. Delete pods in a failed space. In a failed state in namespace default. Wow, pods can be in a lot of states, huh? Can I just get like a list? What are all the states that a Kubernetes pod can be in? Pod lifecycle. All right, we're gonna learn together. This page describes the life cycle of a pod of whales. No, that's not what it says. Pod conditions. A pod has a pod status, which has an array of pod conditions through which a pod has or has not passed. I don't think that's what I'm looking for. Okay, so here's what I'm looking for. Here are a list of possible values for phase, and it is quite small, so I'm going to make it bigger. Oh, so reactive. All right, pending. The pod has been accepted by the Kubernetes system, but one or more of the container images has not been created. This includes time before being scheduled, as well as time spent downloading images over the network, which could take a while. Okay, so I'm guessing that we're running into an error because it was trying to download the images and there just wasn't enough space, and so it was downloading forever. Running, the pod has been bound to a node, and all of the containers have been created. At least one container is still running or is in the process of starting or restarting. Succeeded, all of the containers in the pod have terminated in success and will not be restarted. Failed, all containers in the pod have been terminated. At least one container has terminated in failure. That is, the container either exited with a non-zero system status or was terminated by the system. And unknown, for some reason the state of the pod could not be obtained, typically due to an error in communicating with the host of the pod. Okay, none of those is evicted, so evicted? Nope. Evict. Nope. All right. Okay, so I don't know what pod eviction is, and I don't think I have to worry about it, is my guess there. Let's take a little peeky poo. Still happening? Still happening. Okay. Can I just delete the VM? Let's ask the internet. If I delete a VM with a Kubernetes cluster running in it, does it delete the cluster? How do I delete clusters in context? Kubernetes cluster setup using virtual machines. Let's see. Kube control config view shows context and clusters corresponding to clusters that I have deleted. How can I remove these entries? The command kube control config unset clusters appears to delete all clusters. Is there a way to selectively delete cluster entries? What about contexts? Oh, I think that might actually be what I want, even though it's not what this person wanted. Kube control config view. Let's see what we can see. All right, so we have... Okay, so we do have a cluster, which is probably not going to run very good. Yeah, refuse to connect. And then we have the Rasa context, and I want to delete it. And hopefully you guys can't hear the leaf blowers that are going on outside my apartment. Ugh, I'll turn the mic. It might help a little bit. Okay, kube control config unset clusters. Error. Oh, that's an easy error to fix. It wants to be root. Property clusters unset. Okay, so maybe I can just say kube control config unset. Unset's an individual value in a kube config file. Property name is a dot-delimited name where each token represents either an attribute name or a map key. Map keys may not contain dots. I don't know what any of those things are. Okay. Unset the current context. Kube control unset current context. Unset namespaces in foo context. Kube config unset property name. Okay, I think I just want the current context because it's that Rasa one. And I'm just trying to delete the cluster or the context. Apparently they're different things. Before I delete my VM, just in case it's still provisioning resources. Great. Oh, sorry. I copied the comment. That's not a command. Dippin says, sorry to interrupt. Can I get an issue resolved over here? I'm gonna go with maybe. Depends on what your issue is. Permission denied. Yes, I see how that could be. Current context unset. All right. And then if I ask to see everything, I see nothing. All right, so it looks like I could delete it. Robbie says, why did you not discuss with Rasa's engineers? Rachel, I did hop on a call with a couple people and got into a weird, like the weird error that I was getting where you couldn't connect to the running cluster is something that a couple of people have run into before, and the solution is the word I was looking for there. Wow. A little more sip of coffee. Has been to basically restart the VM from scratch, which is what I'm trying to do. But also, I should know how to restart a Kubernetes cluster if I'm going to be using these on the regular. All right, so now I think I want to, can I just say exit? Yeah. And now I want to delete this VM because I don't think I need it anymore. All right. Hey, all right. So as I remember, this link is going to be incorrect. Oh, dang, it weren't. It worked. Turns out all you needed to do was follow the docs exactly, and it worked perfectly fine. All right. So I said if we weren't done by 9:30, we were gonna start again, but I think it works fine. Okay, so the first error that I was getting, where I had a running cluster that I couldn't connect to and that just like gave me an error all the time, still don't know what's up with that. And oh my god, the leaf blower is so loud. I really hope you guys can't hear that. And the other error I got where everything was just pending was because my VM was too small and didn't have sufficient resources to download the images for all of the pods. Okay, making sense. Sorry. The leaf blower sound is something. All right. Great. I think we're good to go. Let's do it. So I have my assistant on GitHub, and let's connect it. All right. Robbie says, "Cool. You pretend to be in problem." No, the problems are real. And Yardy says, "There's a leaf blower in the background." Yep, there sure is. I genuinely don't know what leaves they're blowing. There's not exactly a lot of trees around where I am, but... Okay. So, yeah, let's connect our assistant to GitHub, and then we can use the beautiful Rasa X interface, which has had a large number of improvements recently, and I'm really looking forward to getting to play around with them. Hi, Nitty. Welcome to the stream. All right. Versioning, training data, and code in Git. Reviewing changes before they go into production, and running automated tests on proposed changes. So one of the first things I want to do once we get our assistant loaded is you can use Rasa X to design your tests, so you don't have to like code a bunch of conversations by hand, which is very high on my to-do list. If you remembered, we started doing them by hand, and I was like, there's got to be a better way. There is a better way. Rasa X encourages best practices by integrating itself into your existing development workflows, letting you automate data synchronization with your Git repository. Automatically stay up to date with the latest state of the remote repository and your Git server. I just saw latest state of the, and my mind went art. That's the next word. That's what it's going to be, and it wasn't. My language model was a little overly proactive there. Annotate new data and push those changes to Git. Set yourself up for success by connecting your Rasa X server with Git to monitor, version, and test your training data using GitHub, GitLab, Bitbucket, Travis CI, Circle CI, Jenkins, etc. Yeah, so we're using GitHub for this project. The link is in the bottom of the YouTube description, and I can actually post it on Twitch if anyone there would like to see it, but if you search for GitHub RCTATMAN dialect bot, I think is what it's called, you should be able to find it pretty quick. All right, connect your server to a Git repository. That is what I'm looking for. You will need a Rasa X running in server mode. Local mode does not have supported integrated version control. We are in server mode, which is one of the reasons why we went to the trouble of me crying about Kubernetes. A Git repository containing a project in the default Rasa open source project layout. Pretty sure I do have that. When you connect your Git repository to Rasa X, it will overwrite the training data, which is currently stored in Rasa X. Please use a fresh Rasa X instance, check, or export your training data if you want to keep the old training data. Arsad said, "Hi, I'm late. What things are done till now?" So what I was doing is following the Rasa one-line deploy script for running Rasa X using Ubuntu VM, and I had struggled with it mightily over the last couple days, and this time I followed the directions exactly, and it worked fine. So problem solved, and now we are connecting our existing assistant, which is hosted on GitHub. Well, the code is on GitHub. It's not really hosted anywhere, to our Rasa X instance here. And then we can, let's make it big, too big. There we go. And then we can interact with our assistant in this beautiful UI. We can do some testing, set up our tests, which I think is the first thing on my to-do list. And yeah, eventually launch it so people can take my dialect quiz. Although right now it's a bad quiz because, no, the quiz is fine. The classifier needs some work. All right, project layout. Let me pull up my GitHub repo. doing that over here. Sorry, dialect quiz bot is what it is called. All right. There we go. So here is the dialect bot, and the folder dialect bot is set up using the default Rasa configuration. It is nested because the top level has like the modeling code in it as well. No, this isn't the modeling code. This is my virtual environment stuff. So hopefully that won't be a problem. We'll find out. Blah, 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 blah. So that one looks good. If you have just installed Rasa open source for the first time, you can run Rasa init on a new Git repository to achieve this structure. If you have an existing assistant that you're connecting to Rasa X, make sure to add it to the Git repository and reorganize the project if it does not match the above layout. It does. We should be good. Add it to a Git repository. I could probably just give it the link to the nested folder, right? We'll find out. Configure the repository connection. Connect to your Git repository. Click on the branch icon and click connect to a repository. All right, there's the branch icon right behind my head. Connect to a repository. All right. SSH URL for repository. There's an organization, branch name. Require users to add changes to new branch. This is the branch, so this top one is the SSH URL for the repository. Cloning via HTTP is currently not supported, so you do need the SSH URL. And then the target branch, this is the branch X, Rasa X will use to show the initial data, branch off from when you make new changes, and return to after you discard or push changes. So is this a new branch or is this an existing branch? And then copy the key to your remote repository, confirm that you've successfully connected. Okay. It already says master. So that's the existing repository that I want it to sync to. The biggest changes that I'm going to be making not in Rasa X are going to be my modeling code and action server. Although I don't have an action server running right now, so I don't know as that's really that relevant. It's not going to work without an action server. I am going to have to figure that out, but the important thing was getting Rasa X working to begin with. Mobile target branch. I see. Okay. Gotcha. You put in master and later you can choose if new branches are created. You just type master. Thank you. I'll do that. And then the... Okay, so it doesn't support HTTP, so I need the SSH key, which is in here somewhere. Sorry, I'm just poking around in the private section of this repository in a different tab. Where do I find the SSH URL? This is SSH URL, yeah. Clone or download. There we go. Use SSH. Excellent. All right. My question about using SSH is, can I put it into the dialog box? Okay, so here's SSH for the whole assistant. You already says click clone button and then switch to the popover. Yes, thank you. I don't think this is gonna work. Too far zoomed. Yeah, copy and add SSH Deployment Key to your remote GitHub repo. I'm going to save this for later. But I think this will not work because the SSH URL is for the root directory of the repo, which is not set up like a Rasa bot. So, something went wrong. Please try again. Yeah. Greg says, click the clone button on the... okay, I'll show you what they're talking about. So, on the home directory... Yeah, I know, I need to upload to TensorFlow. In the home directory, you have this, and then clone with SSH. It was originally HTTPS, and I use this instead. My thinking about why this is causing an error, though, is because that's pointing to this home directory. I want it to point to this directory, which is the one that's actually set up like a Rasa bot. And Yardi says, you forgot to set the deploy key in your repo. I don't know what that means necessarily. All right, you need to add this generated public SSH key as a deploy key to your repository on GitHub. How do I add a deploy key? Oh, I see. So it's under the settings tab on top. There are no deploy keys for this repo. Add key. I'm posting it in there, and then I'm saying Rasa X. And does it need to have poll access? This allows Rasa X to authenticate with a Git server using its private SSH keys. Please see the documentation of your Git server on how to do so. We've linked the instructions for some common providers. All right, let's check that out. GitHub. All right. I'm going to say it probably doesn't need write access because it's creating a fork. Maybe it does need write access. I'm going to say that it can't have write access. I trust Rasa X. All right. It has been added. And I can see it as like a little key icon, again, under settings on the top, and then deploy keys on the dropdown. All right. Thank you, Yardi. All right. Verify that connection. Again, I think this might not work because I think it's not going to be pointing at the folder that I want it to be pointing at. It's pointing one level above with my, license and README and stuff. We'll find out. It's thinking. Greg says, make sure you click the allow write access checkbox when you add the SSH keys to the Git repo. Good. I did actually do that. So there's a little bit of a delay, particularly between the YouTube chat and me. I'm not ignoring people. And I did click that because I thought it might be important. So I'm glad that my instincts were right there. All right. Require users to add changes to a new branch. Yeah, I think I do want that. And Greg says, without write access, you would not be able to push new branches with updated training data. I gotcha. That's very helpful. So your data would live on Rasa X, but it wouldn't be part of your version control, which is not necessarily ideal. All right. Ooh. All right, let's view models. There are no trained models. Training, no training data yet. So I'm thinking that the reason it can't see the models is because of the problem that I had, that I mentioned might be a problem with the way that my repository is configured. Fortunately, what we do have is that we can download the model, so let's give that a shot. I don't think it's necessarily going to work. Nell said, did we just show most of a key that is allowed to make changes? Is that a good thing to have on the internet? I will be changing it right after this. Doobie-doobie-doo. Okay. What was I doing? Greg says she not show this key. She did it off screen. Yeah, it's possible it might have shown up very briefly. I don't know. There's a reason I'm not working on a cloud VM right now, and it's because I don't trust myself not to accidentally show credentials. Aight. So I was getting a model. Again, I think this is not going to work because I think my directory isn't set up correctly. Greg says, models aren't typically checked into the repo. Check the NLU data to see if it's there. All right. No training data yet. Responses, stories. Configuration. YAML configuration. Let's actually check if that's the same configuration that we have. Your models are not uploaded to Git if I'm mistaken. I'm pretty sure I did upload them though. Let's see. Yeah, so my models have been uploaded to GitHub. Yeah, so I'm thinking the reason that this is a little bit funky is because of this thing that I mentioned. We got like 15 minutes. We can try uploading a model. I don't think it's going to work because I don't have my stories or my NLU set up correctly because, again, it is looking for files what ain't there because they're one subdirectory down. Unless I can change that somehow in here. Let's see. Blah, 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 blah. Master, up to date. All right. And that'll just send me to this same thing here. Yeah. Yeah, Greg says yeah, that's root of the repo isn't in the correct format. Ugh. All right. I'm trying to think of the easiest way to do this, and I think the easiest way to do this is just going to be to create a new repository with just some of the files in, with just the project structure. I think should be easiest. Yeah. All right, let's try that. I will say my Git on this computer is a little bit funky. I'm using GitHub Desktop because I had a struggle. I've had lots of struggles. Let's pull up. All right. So let's open the dialect quiz bot. Greg says, could pull from that help desk repo for now, but not the bot you want. Yeah. Yeah. That might not be a bad thing to just give the old college try. So, Rasa help desk. Oh, no, I actually want to search all of GitHub. Sorry, I'm just doing my searching over in another tab here. All GitHub, thank you. I don't think that one's right. Is help desk one word? 2018. I don't think that's right. Let's just find the starter packs. Nope, that's all of Rasa. And then demo, SDK, demo. But sorry, I'm scrolling through stuff in a different tab, which I know is not, it's not great TV, but also this isn't TV, so we'll manage. Help desk assistant. There we go. All right. So here is the help desk assistant that Melinda was the most recent contributor to. Yeah, so I definitely will need to fork it. Open in desktop. Let's give that a shot. That button probably doesn't exist if you're not on Windows with GitHub Desktop not done. All right, fetched origin, and it absolutely did not actually do the thing. All right, open in desktop, do open it, thank you kindly. Yes, 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 local path. Go ahead and clone that. Yuri says, last Tuesday's cliffhanger was quite a show. Wednesday? Maybe? For the stream? Although I think the Burt video came out on Tuesday. So perhaps you mean that. All right. So, view on GitHub. Nope, that's the original one. All right. History. All right, so I have cloned it locally. Yeah, all right. And now I want to, all right, so I'll show you all what I'm looking at right now. So I'm on GitHub Desktop, which again, I can't zoom in on. That's great. So I've cloned a local version of the Rasa HQ Help Desk Assistant, and I want to upload it to my GitHub as a master. Let's create a new branch, maybe? No, I just want like a private fork. I don't necessarily want to create a branch. All right, we got about 8 minutes. I thought this would be faster, but I'm still like, fine with GitHub, but I would say that I can't necessarily work quickly. So I'm going to need to reformat my repo. And I think it honestly might be better to do that off screen. Yeah, so I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to spend some time reformatting my repo. But what we can do is we can just like peek in on our cluster and see that it's working, hopefully. That's what I would love to see. So going back to, I think this is where, all right, I only have one. Let's see, Multipass list K3s, that's right. K3s. All right, and then we should be able to do Helm list. We should be able to do sudo helm list. No. So I've replicated my error, so that's a good thing because it means I know what I did. Hi, Shnoopy. Sorry if I'm saying that wrong. that's right, it's actually git. I'm trying to remember the exact flags options. Git pod, that's what I'm looking for. So I should see, yeah, okay, all my pods are running. I just can't talk them anymore with Helm. And was it because it was running in a terminal and then I closed the terminal? I'm still connected to the same VM. The VM didn't stop, but I stopped the terminal. Well, he already says, yeah, this is the cliffhanger I was talking about, this exact thing. And this is what I spent like an hour on a call with someone who's much better at Kubernetes than I am yesterday. And we could not get to the bottom of it. So that's... well, that's not a great note to end on. The mystery remains, though. So, again, the way that people have solved this in the past is just by restarting the VM. But the problem with, like, killing the VM and then restarting it is that then I have to reinstall Rasa X, and that takes a minute. Is my Rasa X instance still available? Can I still do stuff in that? Which of you is the one that I want? Sorry, I'm trying to find the correct... yeah, okay, so is Rasa X still up and running? Yeah, Rasa X is definitely still up and running and doing stuff. Status up to date. Tutorial. Well, let's just like click on some stuff and make sure it's all working. Yeah. Yeah. Greg says, I missed which port you were connecting to. 80, 5002. And Enrique says, just to find the cube config variable. All right, let's pop this up. I don't know what port I'm connected to. I think, one sec, I had a big list of all the things that we talked about in my meeting where I cried a lot. I didn't cry. Nope, that's stuff I did after that. Let's see. Cluster info. 6443 it looks like is the port, Greg, to answer your question, which is not a port that I see a lot, I guess. I guess you can use any port you want. There's like addresses, but yeah, 6443. I'm just looking. So I'm looking at my part of my notes about all the stuff that we tried to like figure out what was happening. So one thing that we also checked was the logs. So last time the logs for the production pod were empty. Okay, the logs for the production pod are empty here again, so that's the same. And then we're gonna get the Kubernetes cluster unreachable error. First, let's type the command correctly. Okay, so we get the same error there. The big difference is now I can actually access the front end, so that's not a problem. Interesting. And then let's try. Values. Rasa X. I don't know if I'm typing that correct. Fail to download Rasa X, Rasa XH. Interesting. So the error that I was getting previously was error connection timed out. Interesting. Let's try that. All right, let's see if we can fail to download. Interesting. Okay. Enrique says just define the kubeconfig variable. I'm not 100% sure what you mean by that. Oh, although one thing that we did not do was, and I'm wondering if this is a thing. Oh, it's gone. One sec. We didn't add kubeconfig to our bash. So let's do that real quick right now. Bash RC. There we go. And then let's just go right to the end. I don't know why I put it at the end. Just seems reasonable. I don't need to say kubeconfig. You can just search kubeconfig. All right. Write it out and then exit. And then let's real quickly see if we still get this same error. Same error. Enrique says K8's config in Kubernetes config in etc. Kubernetes admin conf. Let's just see. I don't know that that is a file that I have. Yeah, no, it is not. KUBERNETADMIN.CONF. Yeah, don't think I have that file. Perhaps that is the source of the error. Fascinating. Okay, so looking at the other stuff that I was looking at. Scroll. Upgrading didn't work. Oh, okay. So we already tried upgrading. We tried upgrading last time and that didn't help. But we should see, if this is the same error, we should see that our cluster is up and running. Yes, yeah, we already did that. Last time for this, we got that there was no Rasa namespace. Oh, okay, that's different. That is very different. Okay. So running sudo kube-control get events. Last time when I got this error, I got the response to this, no responses found in Rasa namespace. And here I'm seeing lots of events, normal, unhealthy. That doesn't look so good. Let's get that little peek. Health, connecting. Let me just look at it. Connecting. I'm guessing that this is just going to get an error timeout. So it looks like the problem has to do with a timeout. Somewhere, something just loads forever. But, yeah, so this is exactly the same error that I was getting previously. Okay. Is Rasa up? Is Rasa X still up? Also, will it continue to be up if I refresh the page? Yeah, it will. Okay. Mysterious. Very mysterious. So, my understanding of the current state is we have a cluster. It's running and healthy. We can interact with it via the web UI interface or browser UI interface. But we cannot interact with it via Helm. And I did add the kubeconfig to the bash RC. Maybe I'll restart the VM. Maybe that'll help. Maybe that's just an issue. Although, as I remember, that was not the problem last time. So let's just exit. And then Multipass. Let's look at help real quick. Yeah, let's just stop and then start. And it was K3S, as I remember. It's going to take just a second. And then we'll see if our assistant is still running. And real quick, let me just take notes about what we're doing. And this is installation. This is my 5th time installing stuff. Installation, take 5. All right. Also, I know you can just like save the bash logs, but I find that especially if you're working across multiple VMs, it is very helpful to just take notes about what you're doing in a different page. In a document, and then you can turn it into a friction log, easy peasy. Installed successfully. CCESS. So we installed it successfully, interacted with Rasa X in the browser, no problem, and then restarted terminal with running VM. VM was still up and cluster still running, but we ran into the, what was the specific error? What was this specific? It's that super ungoogleable error. Error Kubernetes cluster unreachable. Error again. Could still interact with Rasa X in the browser. Super Batman says hi. Hi, Super Batman. Scooby says, sometimes it's frustrating. Sometimes it is frustrating. Although, weirdly, having, getting the same error again is a little bit comforting because I got stuff working and then I got the error, which means it's replicable and it wasn't just like a weird one off due to something in my system, or like a random command I didn't remember doing. So I feel better about that. It seems like it's a bug and not like I messed up real bad. To be clear, it is very possible that I still messed up real bad. But at least I'm messing up consistently, so it's solvable. Where are you from? I live in Seattle, but I am from Virginia. Okay, so I could still interact with Rasa X in the browser. And then we tried stopping and starting VM again. So now we gotta start it, and that's gonna take a second. And other differences were, actually, you know what? I'm just gonna big difference. Could see, could get kube control events, and then I'm just gonna paste the logs. This is also, if you are putting together a Stack Overflow question, a good way to do it. Write down all the stuff you did in order, and then say that that's what you tried and what happened. Okay, we stopped and restarted the VM, and that's our current state. And now multipass shell. Oh, Baines! No, I don't want that. Sorry. I was like, creating primary, that's what it does when you want to create a new VM that doesn't have a, whoops. So I was going to create an entirely new VM that I did not need to exist. Whoops. Whoopsie-doopsie. Did not mean to do that. All right. Well, that's working. Multipass shell K3S was the actual assistant was the actual VM we wanted to start. Superman Batman says, "Can I get an internship in Rasa?" I am not super tuned into the current internship looking schedule. Maybe. Sorry, have not been paying very close attention to job stuff lately, so that's not a very satisfying answer. All right. System information disabled due to a load higher than 1. Huh. Interesting. Oh, is it because I have it open in this one as well? I shouldn't. That one's in K3S. That one is not. Multipass list. Alright. Pass, delete, primary. I just don't want it around janking up my system. Excellent. It's gone. It's in the place where files go when you delete them. All right, so now we're trying to do sudo helm list. Same error. Got the same error. What about cube control? I don't think there's an R in that. I think it's just cube control. Let's see the pods. All right, sudo. No resources found in default namespace. I'm wondering if that address is wrong. Super Batman said, "Why did you join Rasa?" A lot of reasons. So a big one is that I was previously at Kaggle and doing sort of more general machine learning stuff. My background is in natural language processing, and I really wanted to work more on language technology. She says, neck deep in Kubernetes. I really wanted to work more on language technology, and I really like the Rasa platform. I like that it's open source. It really combines a lot of the sort of major advances we've made in NLP in the past decade or so without falling prey to some of the major foibles or like things that, like, I think it's very tempting to, oh, you got me on a tangent. I'll finish my tangent and then write up a bug report, and that will be my day. No, I have so many other things to do. I think it's easy to, especially with new deep learning methods, get really excited and spend a lot of resources getting better scores, basically. And I really like that Rasa takes the major advances we've made, like transformers and deep learning in general, and not having to hand build rules, and then really in a very sort of like opinionated, purposeful way makes them easy to implement and to use in engineering systems without being, very big or very slow or very unreliable or not necessarily unreliable, but unpredictable. So there's always like a reasonable fallback, and I really appreciate that sort of like general design ethos and the research the team is doing. And also it's really nice folks. So yeah, that's my my short answer of why I'm at Rasa. Also, I think I look great in purple, so that's not the serious part of the answer. Yeah. All right. So I think I'm just going to copy and paste all of this in here. So I think the error is definitely with my config. I think perhaps the address is incorrect. Maybe. Let's actually. Yeah. Okay. This will be for me in the future, and I think that Enrique's comment about the admin config being missing is also very relevant. I think there's something in the file structure that is not there that should be there, and I just don't know enough about Helm to diagnose this. And it does seem to be a Helm thing. Or at least Helm's failing first before kube control is. Let me double check that that's what I was doing last time. How was I getting the pods last time? Scroll up, scroll up, scroll up, scroll up. Let's see. We were doing kube control, CUBECTL, cluster info. But the cluster's still up and running. Yeah. Ultrax says, are you able to read the k3s.yaml file? I don't think so. Let's go to shop. I think that I have pointed my something towards something that does not exist. Oh no, it does work. Interesting. Fascinating. Deeply weird. Okay. Well, there goes my hypothesis. Okay, I think at this point, it is time for me to hand this problem to somebody who is more knowledgeable than I am, because I'm just going to go looking at it and be like, I don't know what's happening there. Enrique says, let's give that a shot. And check.cube. Alright, so .cube exists and is a root. I don't know if that's what you were looking for. Stubby says, I don't know what's happening there is my default. Yeah, I think it's, healthy to know when you're like, there's a hole in my knowledge. Well. I'm going to pass this on to the engineering team and ask them for help. I am happy, though, that we did get Rasa X up and running. This seems to be something else. It seems to be something with, like, my local file system, or maybe, like, it's a Windows-specific thing, although I am in an Ubuntu VM, so it shouldn't be. So I should... I think my next step is going to be doing this on Mac and seeing if I can replicate the same error on a Mac as I can on a Windows machine. Because if I can't, then it suggests that it's Windows specific, even though I am in an Ubuntu VM. And if I can, it suggests that it's something more general. I think is going to be my next thing that I do. Cube should be an Ubuntu user and not root. I'm guessing there. Interesting. All right. I'm gonna call this. It's Friday. I've got other stuff to do. I have a lot of questions to answer that people have asked me. Sky Lacking says, thanks for being human. Oh, I'm happy to struggle with you guys. It's honestly a little bit better. I think it's a little bit easier to work through stuff on stream, as weird as that seems, because it's like, it's like partner programming. It's like rubber ducking, except the rubber ducks know about Kubernetes. Yeah. All right. Hopefully on Wednesday I'll have an answer for you about the mystery of the unreachable cluster, and we can all laugh about this. Yeah. Have a great weekend. I hope you guys get a chance to relax and do something that you enjoy at some point. Eat food, sleep, drink water, wash your hands. And I will see you on Wednesday. I'll talk to you then. Bye.